BlackRock took over the world as the largest asset manager in the world with 10 trillion under management, more than most global GDP, and now BlackRock has made the move to be the #1 holder in Bitcoin. The next 6 years is going to be the greatest missed opportunity in our living history for our families to build generational wealth. Most people are looking this way as the whole system is changing this way. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a short clip. Well, it's going to be a longer clip, so get your notepads out. But after the clip, I'm going to break down the facts, figures, numbers, logic, so you can see for yourself, so you can unveil what is actually happening. If you're still sitting on the sidelines, I don't know what to tell you. Your financial system by 2030 is going to look completely different. On the back end of every video, I share with you exactly what I'm doing. So we're going to watch about the first 6 minutes of this. So pay attention. Her name is Whitney Web, and this is on Tom Bilyeu's website. It's almost a 2-hour interview. I highly recommend after this you go watch the whole interview. Okay, now she kind of just she's a talker like me, so she kind of just goes on and on and on. But the content that she is spitting is fire. It's absolutely fire. And so she breaks down how BlackRock is basically running the world. So we're going to watch the first couple minutes of it, and then I'm going to break down the facts, figures, numbers, logic, guys. You got to get ready. You got to buckle up. Get your house in order, get your finances in order, get your spiritual walk in order, get your health in order, get your shit together. The change is here. Here we go.
Larry Fink of BlackRock, who implemented something we can get into later that some researchers have called the going direct reset, which was basically a way to put money from QE directly in the hands of the private sector instead of public entities, sort of like it had been done before. And arguably that resulted in a massive wealth transfer, and BlackRock didn't really use that money to help Main Street at all. They used it to buy shares in their own ETFs, among other things. And then Kamala, in her case, her entire economic team is essentially led by former BlackRock executives. And that was also true for the Biden administration. So essentially BlackRock, which was also played a major role in sort of developing the bailouts in the 2008 economic crisis, which was under Obama, right, will likely be developing the response for whatever this coming economic crisis is, regardless of who gets in office. If we look at the policy actions of the people running, who they turn to in a time of crisis, or who is running their economic team, that seems increasingly likely. So that is why I'm very concerned, I guess I would say, about BlackRock in particular, because they seem to be the people that the government turns to, regardless of whether a Democrat or Republican is in office. And, they have sort of a history of really affecting wealth transfers during these crises at a time when, they're supposedly developing or helping develop policy meant to bail out Main Street. They end up sort of affecting massive bailouts for Wall Streets. And of course, the people that BlackRock are trying to generate profits for ultimately. And the other thing that I'm really concerned about as it relates to, a coming economic crisis is that I think we're going to see a major effort to saddle American consumers with programmable, surveillable money and seizable money. And so, of course, a lot of people for years now have been very concerned about central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. But there are also things issued by the private sector, like stable coins, for example, that are just as programmable and surveillable and seizable as CBDCs are. So I think it's very likely, in the event of a major debt crisis or some sort of crisis that damages significantly regular Americans' purchasing power, there will be an effort to onboard Americans onto one of those two versions of programmable, surveillable money. So it's possible, if Kamala wins, we could see a CBDC or something like that.
It's exactly what we've been talking about, fam. Pay attention.
But in the case of Trump, he's sort of come out in favor of stable coins. He did that recently at his speech at the Bitcoin conference earlier this year. And stable coins are just as programmable and surveillable and seizable.
Okay, so I'll let you guys go watch the rest of the interview. Okay, so I'm going to take you down the rabbit hole now. Now remember, guys, BlackRock is neutral. They have a bunch of or BlackRock former advisors advising Kamala Harris and Biden. Trump has used BlackRock Larry Fink as his financial advisor. Obama tapped BlackRock in 2008 to balance out the markets. And in 2020, the Feds also used Larry Fink to balance out the markets. So where do you think, like, I know we want to believe these financial advisors that are telling us it's a fraud still and all this stuff. Are you going to believe the largest asset manager in the world? Or are you going to believe somebody who is not even investing in it, has not even researched it? Think about this. Okay. So that's her opinion on it. But look what's happening, guys. So we've gone through this so many times, but this is why I make my investments, right? You're going to be on one side of the coin or the other. There's going to be very, very wealthy, and there's going to be the working poor. The middle class right now has to make about $150,000 a year. Guys, we're heading into another crisis, probably 2026 through 2027. We're going to see a big transition into 2030. The change and the fix is going to be Bitcoin, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to break this all down for you. So right here, this shows you Circle. Okay, Circle is massive in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. They deepen their partnership with BlackRock. BlackRock is deep in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Coinbase selected BlackRock to provide Aladdin clients access to crypto trading and custody via Coinbase Prime. So BlackRock is connected to Coinbase. They're connected to Circle. Okay. We know BlackRock, this was back in 2023. They filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF with Coinbase as the crypto custodian. Coinbase isn't going anywhere, guys. That's where I hold a lot of my crypto on there. So Coinbase is not going anywhere. Coinbase is part of the system. Okay. This is important. The feds asked for BlackRock's help in echo of 2008. So our Federal Reserve goes to BlackRock and says, we need help. Can you help us create some bonds so we can sell them, so we can monetize more debt? So BlackRock is the people that they tap on, okay? Right here. Federal Reserve taps BlackRock to manage bond purchases. This was in 2020. We can just continue on, guys. Okay, so now we transition from BlackRock, 2008 being tapped by the Federal Reserve to balance out the markets. Then all of a sudden, Bitcoin's created in 2009. At the same time, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa come together to de-dollarize. And guess who created the acronym BRICS? Goldman Sachs. So they take that acronym. They're working to de-dollarize. Larry Fink's balancing out the markets. He's probably like, yo, psst, Obama, guys, we're in trouble. Okay. But there's this Bitcoin thing that some pseudonymous person created that is now being used as a solve, which I'm going to show you. And then they turn the printing machine on full blast. That interview will really open up your eyes, guys. They bring in quantitative easing, but guess who got rich in the quantitative easing from 2020 to 2022? Wall Street. They got extremely wealthy. The wealth gap became massive, right? So this is our opportunity to get involved as Main Street in Wall Street if you make the right moves. So BlackRock now went from 2017, Bitcoin is a fraud used for money laundering, to being the largest holder in Bitcoin. Like, let that sink in. This is May 2024. BlackRock's 20 billion ETF is now the world's largest Bitcoin fund. So now they're the largest asset manager, bigger than most global GDPs. They're tapped by the Federal Reserve in 2008, 2020 to balance out the markets. And now they're the largest Bitcoin holder. And then lo and behold, we go to the Bitcoin conference. I wasn't there, but at the Bitcoin conference, you had President Trump. You had RFK, who've now teamed up that are pro crypto. Okay, they're doing the Unity Party. And then we're going to watch this part with Cynthia Loomis. And she talks about how they want to bring Bitcoin. This is the bill in her hand right here. If you look at it in her hand right there, I can't look them backwards. That's the bill to bring Bitcoin underneath the treasury. And I've been telling you exactly what this lady breaks down. She's a journalist. Is if Kamala Harris wins, expect a CBDC type world. If Trump wins, we're going to have a stable coin type world, but crypto is going to boom. The public and private sector are going to come together. But remember, they're all being helped by BlackRock. So take your left hat off, take your right hat off, take the middle ground, and figure out what you can do for your family, because there is going to be a radical transformation of the middle class getting wiped out, leverage source technology, moving down to the working poor. So let's wrap it up with this video.
Stored in geographically diverse vaults, and that's only the beginning. Over 5 years, the United States will assemble 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the world's supply. And it will be held for a minimum of 20 years and can be used for one purpose: reduce our debt.
Okay, here's where the narrative comes in. Put your tinfoil hat on. 2009, Bitcoin was created. After 2008, collapse. Larry Fink's tapped to balance out the markets. So he's like, there's something wrong here, okay? BRICS is created. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa works to de-dollarize. Okay, then we go into 2012. The FOMC, you had the Bank Bail-In Committee, and Obama turned the printing machine on full blast with the Obama Rescue Plan. So now we have money printing at the speed of light. We have interest rates low, and Wall Street's kids getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. And Rosie Rios said you need a shock to the system to change consumer behaviors. She was told to reduce coin and cash usage in 2012. She couldn't because there's too much cash in the system. Boom! We have a pandemic that shuts everything down globally. Everything down globally. Changed all consumer behaviors. Now look at us. We're on Zoom calls. I have an academy with warriors all over the world. We have our team members flying in from all over the world. Most of our team members don't even live in the state. We have Zoom calls. We have Zoom meetings. It changed all our consumer behaviors. So in 2017, they said that Bitcoin was a fraud. They said it was used for money laundering. Trump at the same time said we're going to be on an even playing field sooner than we know it 7 years ago. And he was at a meeting. China was there. Japan was there. And he said, we're cooperating. We're going to be on an even playing field. And then all of a sudden, the very thing that was used for money laundering, that was a fraud in 2023, all of a sudden becomes a flight to quality. But let's back up. Larry Fink was tapped in 2020 to balance out the markets. So where do you think we're going? We're the largest asset manager in the world that the Federal Reserve taps both left and right. Both left and right use Larry Fink to figure this out. And he is now the largest Bitcoin holder in the world through his ETF. At what point are we going to take the veil off? At what point are you going to see that the Satoshi Nakamoto, some pseudonymous thing, guys, is it that by chance that it was created in 2009 and now it's the solve for the American debt crisis? Is it by chance it's going to be mined for 119 years in a financial system that usually lasts about 80 to 100 years? I mean, maybe it's just all coincidence. Who knows? Maybe just luckily somebody created in 2009 something that they knew, because America was already in trouble in 2008, guys. We were already in trouble. And they knew that countries were de-dollarizing. They knew this was coming. This just wasn't, people say, oh, all these, people, there's a switch being flipped tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. This has been planned out for 20, 30 years, guys. When they detached from the gold standard in 1971, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. And look at the wealth gap from 1971 to now. It's massive, and it's about to become parabolic. There's going to be the very wealthy, and there's going to be the working poor. And if it goes left, there's going to be a CBDC, UBI, things like that, universal basic income. If it goes right, like I said, there's going to be a stable coin, which is still programmable, as that lady talks about. But which side of the coin do you want to be on, an investor side or the consumer side? You always want to be on the investor side, not the consumer side. So I'll get off my soapbox. I mean, it's super clear. Everything that was tinfoil hat in 2020 is now true. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to let it be there. So here's what I do. So I use the risk pyramid, and I talk about this every single time. So I'm going to repeat this because there's new people watching this every time. And if people watching this have been watching this over and over again, hopefully at some point they'll activate and understand what I'm doing. This is very, very speculative crypto, okay? We're still in a very speculative phase. It's going to go up dramatically November through December, January, February, March, May. We'll probably see a pullback. So 2025 is going to be a very favorable year for crypto. It's going to shoot up. I'm exiting on the way up. The reason why is because when it goes completely parabolic, the exchange is shut down. They're being liquidated, right? Everybody panics. Everybody thinks they're a professional is going to catch the top. You're not. I promise you. You're not going to catch the top. You will catch the bottom, though. So maybe you won't catch the bottom either. But on the way up, I'm pulling profits, okay? So let's think about it this way. If I put $10 into crypto, I made $20. I'm pulling $10 out, pay Uncle Sam, and I pull it down the risk pyramid. Now I'm on house money. The house money is coming down the risk pyramid, and I put it into tier 1 capital. I don't store my money in a bank. I keep my cash as low as possible in a bank, and I insure my money. I insure my house. I insure my car. I insure my family with term, and then I use index universal life. Some people use whole life, but I use insurance to actually insure my money. Eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. I can borrow against it tax-free. after a certain amount of time, and then I'm getting market-like returns. But what's cool about it is the house money that I locked up is now guaranteed. My principal is guaranteed. So if we do go into a complete collapse in 2026, stock market collapse and crypto collapse, guess what? Everybody loses their principal. Mine is guaranteed. Mine is locked in. And from there, I'm continuing to innovate my companies to create more cash flow. Remember Warren Buffett, you'll never be wealthy till you can make money while you sleep. Rule number one, don't lose money. Rule number two, follow rule number one. So I max fund my policies in this bull run coming up. We're a couple months away. I'm max funding all my policies. I'll buy more silver. I'm going to be tapping into real estate, multifamily, and we'll continue to repeat the cycle. When it collapses in 2026, I'll accumulate 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029. Then we'll go into the same cycle, and that will be our generational wealth building cycle. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. If you need any support at all, because I talk exactly about what I'm doing, I get hundreds of messages about ensuring my wealth. So we set up a free resource for you. If you click the description of this video, fill out the needs assessment, or click my social media platform, fill out the needs assessment. It's a free consultation. That's not me messaging you. I will never ask about your crypto. I will never, we don't have an investment platform or trading platform. That is not us. Those are scammers. Okay. It's a free consultation. Okay. Once you fill that out based on your needs, I'll have the proper team member call you, text you, and email you. It's a free consultation. We'll never take any money from you directly. Okay. So that's all here. If you need help, understand how I ensure my wealth. I love you. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go. See you tomorrow.